Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to do something really quick and easy. We're going to make our own pasta. Pasta's been really hard to come by in the shops recently, so we're going to make our own. I'm going to show you how easy that is, and we're going to make a wild garlic pesto. So pasta, pesto, a little bit of tender stem broccoli as well. We're replacing the basil with wild garlic. The recipe is 80 grams of wild garlic or basil, 50 grams of pine nuts, 50 grams of Parmesan cheese or a vegetarian equivalent, and 150 mils of extra virgin oil. We're going to do the pasta first. So we've got 275 grams of 00 pasta flour. We're going to put a little pinch of salt. If I was making pasta for raviolis, you roll it really super thin, and for that purpose I don't put the salt in there because the salt doesn't always dissolve in the pasta, and if you're rolling out really thin and then stretching it over your ravioli filling, then those grains of salt can actually help to tear the pasta, so we don't put them in for that purpose. So in here we've got 275 grams of pasta flour. We've got three egg yolks, 2 whole eggs, and I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of extra virgin oil. Just going to let the doggy out before she starts kicking off. So I've made a little well in the centre. I don't always put all the egg in. We always save a little bit back, especially if I was making raviolis, tortellinis, anything that's going to be shaped, because you want a nice firm pasta for that purpose. Obviously I'm mixing this with my hands, so if you are making this, make sure your hands are clean and your work surface, your bowls, everything is spotless before you begin. I've just managed to throw a load of flour all over the floor. So made a little well in the flour, mixed the flour into the egg mix in the centre of the bowl, and now we're just trying to bring it together. I normally make a bigger recipe of this at work, and I would mix it. I would do this part in the food processor, not in a KitchenAid with a dough hook, because it's too firm. It'll kill your KitchenAid or whatever stand mixer that you use. It's not good for it, and it'll probably burn it out, ruin the gears. So we put it in a food processor and mix it. So I'm putting all that egg in there. So mix it in a food processor till it kind of resembles a really fine breadcrumb. And then we turn it onto the surface and finish mixing it by hand. So as soon as this dough is together a little bit more, I'm going to turn it out onto the work surface and knead it into a nice dough on the top. So pasta. With this, we're going to use a pasta machine, a pasta roller over there. You can roll it out with a rolling pin if you don't have one, but hopefully you'll see from this video how easy it is to make your own pasta. And for the sake of £35 you can buy one of these pasta machines. They come with the cutters for linguine and tagliatelle, and you can make your own pasta at home whenever you like. It really is easy. Not quite as easy as opening a packet, I get that. the ease of use of buying dried pasta, obviously, but you know, from time to time, have a go, make your own. You know, it really is quite rewarding making your own pasta, making your own breads. You know, these things that we just take for granted, give them a go. And you really will reap the rewards. So that's nice. Nice and firm, not too hard. We're going to let it rest now. We're going to let it rest for a good half an hour in the fridge. What I like to do, I like to press it nice and thin to begin with, and that way, rather than ball it up into a really tight ball, and then when it's cold it's going to be really hard and really really dense. It tightens up in the fridge. At the minute it's just a bit too elasticated, so we need to let it rest for it to loosen up a little bit, and when we roll it, it doesn't just contract back and end up twice as thick as what you rolled it out anyway. So we're going to cover that in cling film, pop it in the fridge. You know, you could do this in the morning if you wanted to roll it out for dinner. There's no reason why you can't even make it the night before. But we're going to give that 20 minutes in the fridge, half an hour, and come back, roll it out, blanch it, and make our pesto. So, with our pasta resting in the fridge, we're going to make the pesto that we're going to cook. Well, we're not going to cook the pesto, we're going to cook the pasta and toss it with the wild garlic pesto. Never used this machine for anything like this before, so hopefully it does the job. So we've got, what did we say, 150 mils of extra virgin oil, 50 grams of pine nuts which we just toasted, and we've got 50 grams of grated parmesan. This is fresh parmesan that I've grated with a really fine side of the grater or a microplane. Sorry if this makes too much noise for the camera. See the oil starting to mix with the wild garlic in the bottom, go nice and green. I'm not going to push it down too much because I don't want the machine to overwork. It's just going to start mixing and blending that next layer of wild garlic. And then a little bit more, pushing down a touch more. And now the nuts and parmesan are going to start mixing with that and start to become a lot thicker. Pushing it down a little bit, giving it a mix, liquidize, push it down a little bit more. Now start to smooth the sides down, incorporate it a little bit. Colour's beautiful, it smells fantastic. You'd normally have garlic in a basil pesto, but we're leaving that out because of the garlic from the wild garlic. thin. I'm going to leave a little bit of texture to it. There we go. There's our wild garlic pesto. So our pasta dough, just take it out of the fridge. It's had a little rest, chilling out. It's a lot more relaxed now and ready to start rolling it. I've just taken half of that amount. I've taken half of the batch. I'm not going to eat it all, so I certainly don't want to waste any. So I've just pre-rolled it a little bit. The thickest thickness on this is about 4 millimeters. So if you're trying to roll it and it's already sort of 1 centimeter, it's going to be really, really hard to get it through the machine. You can do it all the way with a rolling pin, but if you're gonna make tagliatelle or linguine, then you certainly want one of these machines. I actually picked this one up. There's a large catering store warehouse called Nisbets, and it's down in Avonmouth. There's one by Cabot Circus. That's not the one. The large store in Avonmouth has a massive clearance section, and it's like Aladdin's cave for chefs. So, you know, I get all my catering goods from there. You know, pasta machines, rolling pins, stainless steel pans for home, fish pans, non-stick pans, bacon trays. It's stuff that people have sent back, so it's open, they can't resell it, or it's got, you know, the slightest dent in there. Or I bought this machine from there for about, I want to say about £25–30, and that included the tagliatelle and linguine attachments. And you know, I think it's normally, for this brand, the Imperia, is normally about £50 to £70 for that. For that particular machine, it is a good quality one. So if you are in and around Bristol, down Avonmouth, then I'd certainly recommend going in there and checking it out. Weighing scales, trays, containers, pots, pans, boards, you name it, they've got it. And at a really good price. Right, so we're down to the thinnest setting on this now. So between each roll, I'm just taking it down 1 setting at a time. If you try and go down too fast too soon, it'll just chew up and break, or it's going to be really, really hard. Right, I can take this off there now. So, there's our pasta, and I'm going to give it a really light dust in the flour, really light, it doesn't need a lot. Come. And in fact, I'm going to cut it into the lengths that I want. You can also sprinkle it with semolina, layer it with semolina, or really fine polenta. Once you've cut it, so I mean, to cut tagliatelle, you could cut thin strips here. We're making pappardelle, so I want really nice thick pieces, so I'm going to cut that into 3. There we go. And you can layer that between some semolina, a little bit of flour. I'm going to be cooking it almost immediately, so I'm not going to dust it with anything else unless it's wet and it's starting to stick together. So we can just leave that there for a moment. we've already made the pesto for this. The only other addition I'm going to make, I'm going to serve it with some tender stem broccoli. So I've got my boiling water ready. Sorry, we're not going to put the oil in just yet. We'll do that when we're cooking the pasta. Season it with a little bit of salt. Apologies if this is a bit noisy, but we don't want the camera starting to fog up. So, we've got our broccoli, we've got a pesto that we made earlier. I'm just going to put that broccoli into the boiling water. I'm going to use the same pan that, for the broccoli that we're going to use for the pasta. We've got a couple of serving dishes. Broccoli's cooking away. And what I'm going to do with that, I've got the char grill on, ready for it. I'm literally going to take it out of the water, put it onto the char grill, and then as soon as the broccoli's on the grill, we're going to throw the pasta in. We've got some pine nuts to sprinkle on the top. We've got a pesto that we're going to mix with the pasta and maybe spoon a little bit over the top as well. Extra virgin oil, and finish it with a little bit of grated parmesan, which we're going to microplane over the top. So the broccoli doesn't need long at all. It's been in there for about a minute already. We don't want it completely soft because it's going to continue to cook when it goes onto the char grill, and we're just going to drizzle that with a little bit of oil, a bit of salt and pepper, and put it on the char grill. As soon as that's out, a little bit of oil in our water and blanch our pasta. There we go. So that's out. A little drizzling of oil. A sprinkle of salt. Pepper. Char grill's already on. So now we want a couple of tablespoons of oil. We're using an olive oil in our water, and we're just going to put our pasta in straight into the boiling water, and that's going to take literally 2 to 3 minutes. Your normal dried pastas, they take about 12 minutes. Because this is not dried, it literally cooks within minutes. So keep an eye on it, don't overcook it. Remember, we've got some of that saved. We've got some of that saved for later as well, so you can have it the next day. You can double up that recipe. You know, if I was cooking for 4, then I'd be using all of this, and say doing it again the next day or a couple of days later. This would be really nice with a nice piece of pan-fried fish on the top, some gilt-edge bream, some salmon, a nice piece of cod, or even some chicken, grilled chicken breast. Would be really nice. But we're having it vegetarian, just our pasta, wild garlic pesto, which you know, well, we're now almost into May, so the woods are full of wild garlic. I literally picked this on my way home today, gave it a little wash, and then just treat it exactly as you would a normal pesto, just replacing the basil for the wild garlic. Let's just take a piece out to check. Literally 30 seconds. be ready. Turn off the char grill, our broccoli's done. I'm going to drain the pasta. Pasta's cooked. So rather than do it in another bowl, I'm just going to, I've drained it nicely. I'm just going to put a nice spoonful of pesto into the pasta, mix that in. Oh, the smell from that wild garlic is absolutely beautiful. A little bit of salt and pepper. I'm also just going to microplane a little bit of lemon in there. And keep that for the cheese on the top. So, can you see that? I don't want to put too much of the pesto on there. And I want it a little bit wetter, so I'm just going to drizzle it with a bit of extra virgin oil. And then I'm going to serve it up. That. Oh. A few pine nuts and a nice drizzle of extra virgin over the top, and of course a little bit of extra parmesan. And there we have it. And there we have it. Pappardelle pasta, wild garlic pesto, tender stem broccoli, parmesan. Enjoy, guys.